Hello, folks. Pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever it is you're watching us from. This is Spoon TV coming to you live from just outside the headquarters of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the LACC. We've been here for over 2 hours now. The time here is 21 minutes up to 11 to 12 midday, and where the suspended president CEO of the National Oil Company of Liberia, Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis, is to appear before an investigative inquest committee. So she's to appear before the investigators today. What we can see is that vehicles supposedly that have got on board the suspended NOCAL president CEO about to make its way into the compound of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. She was invited on the 6th of February, but didn't turn up, and the LACC then subsequently sent a follow-up communication mandating her to appear today, not later than 11 a.m. The president suspended Madam Suacoco Dennis, and in that letter said all properties belonging to the government of Liberia should be turned over to the government. But what we see are vehicles. These vehicles supposedly are part of the investigative inquest, and since the suspension took immediate effect without pay, we do see that the NOCAL president CEO is still using these assets. Well, the charges range from corruption and the rest. Um, the inquest, according to what we've gathered, is going to is going to take into consideration the contract and all of that. Once she enter with Boasa, once she can with Boasa. So we we do see that the president CEO, Madam Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis, is on board that vehicle. So we earlier saw supporters of the suspended NOCAL president CEO out there with various placards, and on those placards calling for the fight against corruption to be holistic and not selective at all. So we'll do our best to bring you images, to bring you out, do our best. Okay, there she is. There is the suspended president CEO of the National Oil Company of Liberia, Madam Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis, as she was advised to come with a lawyer to face the investigative inquest. So she is awaiting her legal counsel and will make her way to face the investigative committee. So ushered in and handshakes being exchanged. Allegations of usage of 75,000 United States dollars to purchase a vehicle or vehicles, and awardings of contracts as well. So, folks, she is now entered the building to go and face the investigative inquest, and we will remain outside to bring you all of what is unfolding here. So once she exits the building, we'll see how, if we can have a conversation with Madam Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis. So as per the protocol, we are back outside. So these are some of the guys holding up placards, and this one says, "Stop undermining your bosses." As to who's doing the undermining there, well, we would like to act to get all of the answers to those questions. This one says LACC should invite CBL, NRF, NAF, NAFA, LTA for investigation. So from all of the placards that we have here, and we'll show them to you, these supporters are saying the fight against corruption should not be a selective one. They cited other instances like the case of former Commerce Minister Ami Modad, who himself was implicated in the purchase of a luxurious vehicle. He was pressured or he resigned willingly. And since then, there's been nothing of a sort coming out of that. We've had the issue of Minister of State Sylvester Grisby and the whole social welfare NASCOP issue. And there have been other cases as well, including the Inspector General of the Ministry of Labor, D. Doc Cooper, who, in an investigative report from the University of Liberia, was allegedly involved in academic fraud. For many people who are staunch supporters against the fight against corruption, have said it should not just be suspension and investigations, but where are the prosecutions? For those who are supporters of President Joseph Boakai, they've said it is in the right direction, but again, more needs to be done as to how this investigative inquest or inquiry is going to pan out and what will be the next step of action. Liberians are equally willing to know. But from most of the conversations on the streets, Liberians feel this is just another slap on the wrist, and those who are caught in the web or allegations of corruption, they do not get any day in court. All they do is either resign or are suspended, and the matter is laid to bed. We have the issue of the LTA, we have the issue of the National Road Fund. Now we have the issue of the National Oil Company. She arrived wearing our gray suit, with her legal counsel as well, on board the two questionable vehicles as well that started all of this saga. And it raises the question again as to if the suspension is in effect and all government assets should have been turned over, why is the president CEO of NOCAL, the suspended president CEO of NOCAL, still in possession of government assets? But that again is a question for another day. This one says LACC should go for all corruption matters and not be selective in a country where the citizenry have gotten used to the effect of alleged corrupt individuals going scot-free and ordinary citizens bearing the brunt of these actions. President Boakai, then as a candidate, campaigned vigorously on the mantra of accountability and transparency. Have there been efforts in this fight? Well, you can look at what the statistics are. But if those efforts do warrant a remarkable score in the fight against corruption, Liberians will tell you they do want to see prosecutions, they do want to see people making restitutions, and they do want to see a holistic action in the fight against corruption. Others have said it's been a selective process, and those who do not enjoy the confidence of President Boakai are the ones that are usually asked. The president on Saturday, making a statement, said they are going to weed out corrupt actors or crooked actors. And after that, hours after that statement, the suspension notice of the NOCAL president CEO was released. As to what President Boakai means by weeding out crooked actors, well, we're waiting to see more stern actions against waste, financial mismanagement, and acts that have semblances of corruption. We'll remain here and wait for the president CEO to exit the building, but she has arrived. Her facial expression didn't look like one who's worried. She was accompanied by her legal counsel who had a file in his hands. Supposedly, those files contain documents. She's before the LACC to answer questions to the following. So we'll go over the communication from the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the LACC, and the first communication outlined, it says, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission presents its compliments and informs you that it has initiated an investigation into allegations of financial improprieties and acts of corruption allegedly carried out by the administration of the National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCAL, under your leadership as President CEO between the period of July and December 2024. So it is not just Madam Suacoco, but the LACC communication says the administration. But when President Boakai issued his suspension notice, he has now Mr. Fabian Lai, the vice president for operations, spearheading the affairs of NOCAL. As to why Emmanuel Azango has not been mentioned or put in that steering committee in that capacity to serve as acting chairperson or president CEO of NOCAL, that is another question. But in President Boakai's communication, he says a board resolution under the chairmanship of Councillor Gloria Mususkat, who is the board chair of NOCAL, recommended the suspension of Madam Suacoco Dennis. She's been suspended without pay pending this investigation. All right, folks. So this is where we love to leave it at this juncture. And once the suspended president CEO of NOCAL exits the building, we'll see if we can get few questions answered by her. That is, if on the advice of a legal counsel, she'll speak to the media. My name is Diamond Slanger on behalf of the Spoon Network. We're here within the Tupi Taylor Curve community in Congo Town. This is the coverage of the appearance of suspended NOCAL CEO and President Rustonlyn Suacoco Dennis. Thank you for watching for now, and we'll go live again. Bye bye.